What's up, Radiant Icons, and welcome back to Dare to Be Iconic, the podcast made for icons daring to be themselves. I'm your host, Amanda Policelli, and if you haven't guessed it from the title already, today's Tea Time Session is all about the subtle art of letting go and not giving a shit. Truly, one of the most freeing and liberating experiences you can do for yourself is letting go of the stuff that no longer serves you and not giving a shit about what anyone else thinks about it. Okay, so today that is what we are going to be spilling the tea about in our tea time sesh. But before we get into all that good stuff, I dare you to connect with me on socials on Instagram and TikTok. It's at Amanda Policelli underscore and at Dare to Be Iconic underscore. And if you're on LinkedIn, make sure to connect with me there. It's at Amanda Policelli. And all that information is found in the show notes below. And also, one more thing before we get into the piping hot tea, Radiant Icons. You want to make sure to stay tuned till the very end of this episode for an exclusive, very special Dare to Be Iconic announcement that you'll basically get a day earlier than everyone else. Yeah, so if you're listening to this on the day this drops, which in this case it's January 29th, then you're in luck. You're getting a sneak peek of what's to come for Dare to Be Iconic before anyone else. Now, let's talk about letting go. Letting go isn't just about cutting ties, okay? It's about creating space for new opportunities. It's about creating space for clarity and for growth and for things that will serve you. Since we're in January, in the beginning of the year, we're still setting the foundation for our most iconic year yet because remember, 2025 is the year that we live our most iconic lives, Radiant Icons. It will be our most iconic year in 2025. So to set ourselves up for success, not only do we have to set intentions and honor them, but we also have to let go of the stuff that no longer serves us. And we also have to let go of the opinions from other people. And we have to not give a shit about what anyone else thinks about the life that we are creating for ourselves. It's time to set the foundation. It's time to let go and not give a shit. So, are you ready, Radiant Icons? Because your tea time sesh is starting now. I keep trying to get this tea time sesh perfect for you guys, but like the reality is this process of letting go is not perfect. In fact, it's very messy, it's imperfect, it's heartbreaking, and it's scary and it's intimidating. When it came to season 2, my goal was to have tough, honest, and real conversations with you guys and to talk about the topics that I've been shying away from because I'm scared to get to the nitty-gritty and to face the things that I don't want to talk about, but I know I need to, right? And this topic right here, this topic of letting go and not giving a shit is a topic that at first when I was writing out the episode prep for it, I was like, oh, this is going to be so easy. But when I came here to hit the record button, it's definitely taken me over the usual amount of time it takes me to record an episode because I'm just trying to get it perfect. And the reality of the situation is this process of realizing that something is no longer serving you is not perfect. You're not going to get it right. In fact, the subtle art of letting go is all about accepting imperfections. It's about accepting that maybe this one thing or maybe these habits or these routines or whatever it is, right, that's no longer serving us, that it's time to let go. It's time to move on. And frankly, when it comes to this particular story that I'm going to share, or I don't even want to say it's a story, it's a whole topic or area of my life. It's very weird to think of that I've never shared about this before on here because it was such a big part of my life, but it's scary and intimidating to talk about because I had to face a lot of hard truths to get to the place that I am at today. Because I had to come to a realization that my first love in life, acting, was no longer serving me. And for a long time, I thought that if I let go of this dream that I was chasing for so long, it meant that I had failed and that I was just giving up because I'm letting it go. But in fact, letting it go isn't about giving up, it's about clearing space, it's about making room for the opportunities that align for you. And my hard truth was realizing that it was okay for me to give up this one dream in order to pursue another, in order to pursue another dream that was more right for me, which was Dare to Be Iconic. If I still was acting and I was still holding on to that dream that really was not serving me in any way, shape, or form, we would never have Dare to Be Iconic. I would have never taken the chance to go after this dream in my heart because Dare to Be Iconic was a dream that I had when I was acting, but it was actually called Small Girl Big Dreams, fun fact. But this whole concept of everything that you see now, the seeds were planting when I was acting, but I didn't have the courage to go after it because I still was holding on to this dream and still trying to make it work. I was still chasing it. It took the actor's strike and me getting laid off of my first big girl job to go after that dream in my heart. I didn't come to that realization until they both left my life, one after the other. And maybe it wasn't any choice of my own because, that whole industry that I had worked so hard for, right? That I have invested so much time and emotion and effort into just stopped. And then, I got laid off, and it happens to the best of us and it's not in our control. But damn, July and August back to back in 2023, like my life changed and it was forced to change. Sometimes I can't help but think, like, damn, you could have left sooner because you realized it wasn't working for you anymore. You had the realization that you wanted to let it go, but you only kept it because of fear, because you were scared. You were scared of the possibility of having to start over, of having to write your story when you didn't even know what it was going to look like. But in fact, that was a blessing. It was a blessing that I had to let it go. Now, let's get into that perception, right? That perception of other people. Like, how was me letting go of these dreams going to be perceived by others? Because remember, little baby Amanda ran off a delusion and manifestation. She told everyone and anyone who would listen that she was a star, that she was going to build an empire, and that she was going to win an Oscar. And like, I love her for that. But the reality of the situation is, when you are known for one thing for so long, it's scary to pivot and try something new because other people will have things to say about it. Like, that's just the truth. And for someone who struggled a lot with my worth equaling external validation from others, I was terrified about what other people would say about me because I no longer was doing the acting thing because I thought that they thought of me as failing, that they thought that I just gave up because it wasn't working out anymore, which was so far from the truth. I was trying to enjoy acting for so long. It was like trying to fit a puzzle piece that definitely was like manufactured wrong into this beautifully cut puzzle. And it was during that time when I perfected the subtle art of letting go and not giving a shit. So let's get into it, shall we? The first thing you are going to do is identify what's holding you back, okay? You need to ask yourself what in your life feels heavy, what feels stagnant, or even out of alignment, okay? It could be a belief, it could be a habit, it could be a relationship, okay? In my case, what was holding me back? Acting. It got very toxic. It was like a very toxic, unhealthy relationship. I was trying to make it work and it was not serving me. It was doing me, honestly, more harm than good. I felt stagnant. It was heavy. It was out of alignment. It was all three. It doesn't have to be all three, but identify what's holding you back. After that, you need to acknowledge your attachment. You need to be honest with yourself. You need to ask yourself if you are holding on to this because of fear, of comfort, or of a sense of obligation. When it came to acting personally, it was fear of failure. It was the fear of perception, right? It was also a comfort because I've been chasing this dream for so long that it was scary to think of something new that I was going to go after and chase. And when it comes to a sense of obligation, I felt a sense of obligation to little baby Amanda who had all those dreams, right? I felt a sense of obligation to pursue this dream and try to make it work because she dreamed so big for it. Like, she wanted it so bad. And the beauty of growth in this particular situation is I realized that little baby Amanda will be proud of present Amanda and future Amanda no matter what, because she's still daring to dream. She's still following her heart. She's still doing the things that she loves, just in a different capacity. She's still making her dreams come true. And I needed to come to that realization in order to truly let go. So I had to acknowledge my attachment to my acting dream. And again, all three of those fit for me. It doesn't have to be all three, you guys, but in my case, it just was. Now, the next thing you are going to do is create a vision for the future. You need to fall in love with that iconic future that you are going to create. So visualize the life that you want. Lean into that manifestation, lean into that delusion a little bit. Think about what life could be like without this weight. What opportunities might open up for you. Allow yourself to dream it and dream big. After that, you need to take small intentional steps. Small wins build momentum. It is a marathon, not a sprint. It is going to take time, but it's going to be okay. So, after you've taken those small intentional steps, you need to replace the old with the new. As you let go, right? As you're in this process of letting go of what no longer serves you, you need to fill that space with something new, whether that's new goals, habits, or people. You need to fill it, but you need to fill it intentionally, because again, iconic lives are built on intentional actions, and that is what we are doing in 2025. So replace the old with the new, but be intentional about it. Now that you know my tips and tricks to letting go and not giving a shit, it's time to get to the Dare to Be Iconic hotline. Let's spill some tea, shall we? All right, first question. I'm afraid to let go of habits that feel comforting, even though I know they're not good for me. Any advice, Amanda, please? So here's the thing with comfort zones. Comfort zones are supposed to make us feel safe, but they also make us feel stuck. They make us feel stagnant because we are not pushing ourselves to say goodbye to that comfort zone and try something new that we've been wanting to try. So when it comes to, in this case, habits that feel comforting, I would choose one habit that I want to let go of and replace it with a new one that I want to try. And I would just start small and build my way up. I would start with one, see how it goes for a certain period of time, and then add another one in. Let go of one, add a new one. Because again, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Small wins build momentum. Replace that old with the new and take those small intentional steps. And you got this, Radiant Icon. I believe in you. Next question. What if I let go of something and regret it later? How do I deal with that fear? Well, I think this one comes down to trusting yourself and trusting your gut. And I know that's something that I personally struggle with, but I think you have to come to the realization in this particular instance that letting go doesn't mean losing, right? It doesn't mean failure. It doesn't mean giving up. Letting go means you're prioritizing your growth, you're prioritizing clarity, you're prioritizing making space for new opportunities. If something truly is not meant to be in your life, do not force it. Do not try to make it work. On the other hand, if something is meant to be in your life, it will always find its way back to you. So trust yourself and trust your gut. All right, Radiant Icons, that is your tea time sesh for today. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe, to leave a rating, a review, to tell your friends about us, to tell anyone and everyone about us, because you know we love more Radiant Icons in our iconic community of ours. Let's get to that secret that I promised to reveal at the end of today's episode. Your wish is my command, Radiant Icons. The time has finally come. After months and months of wishing, Dare to Be Iconic's first ever merch drop, Radiant Love, the Iconic Collection, will be dropping on February 13th, so you can treat yourself with something iconic this Valentine's Day. More information will be available tomorrow on my social channels, so make sure to connect with me on Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. For Instagram and TikTok, it's at Amanda Policelli _ and at Dare to Be Iconic _ and on LinkedIn, it's at Amanda Policelli. Again, those socials and all that information will be found in the show notes below. But basically, you guys are the first ones to know about the merch drop that I've been working on 4 months. And I am just so excited to finally share it with you guys. It's literally so cute. If you haven't been watching the YouTube version of the podcast, then you haven't been able to see the little cute sneak peeks of me wearing pieces of the merch. They're literally so cute. I'm obsessed right now. I am wearing in my Radiant Icon era cropped hoodie. I have the black one on right now, but we also will be selling it in gray and a lot of other amazing pieces in this collection that I have poured my blood, sweat, and tears into. And I just can't wait to see all of you showing off your Radiant Icon pride. Make sure to connect with me on socials for more updates on the collection. And again, it drops on February 13th on Valentine's Day. So make sure to treat yourself with something iconic because you deserve it, Radiant Icons. You deserve it. Anywho, I will chat with you guys next week. Remember, Radiant Icons, dare to be iconic. Bye.